Welcome to the Jon Krull Show. I'm your host, Jason Zaleski, joined now by SPASH Panthers boys basketball coach, Jon Krull. Coach, we had a good week last week, 2-0 last week, including what I thought was a really interesting game down at Wanakee, a genius scheduling move for sure, with the seed math and all those types of things that happen nowadays for playoff seeding. And on top of it, your guys got a win. Just tell us your thoughts now. We're about a week removed from that game down there. Just a really solid win against a really good Wanakee Warriors team.
Yeah, it was. I thought, we kind of talked about it earlier in this season, are challenging us throughout our schedule. And, our conference teams we're going to play them twice a year, and we got to go find non-conference teams that are going to be competitive, give us different looks. We don't play a lot of teams in that Madison area. We got DeForest and Wanakee on the schedule, and they've been a great program here for a long time. They have great athletics. Obviously, everybody knows a lot about their football team, but their basketball team has been really, really good these last many years. But it was a good test for us, especially after the prior week stuff, and we wanted to definitely hone in on the defensive end. And they have some capable scorers down there, and they're athletes and very physical teams. So for the most part, I thought our defense was pretty good down there, and we executed on the offensive end and played a pretty complete 36 minutes.
And then finished the week against Wausau West, a game that, I'll say, check the box. We beat a conference team. We, had a nice scoring margin. It looks like, things went according to plan there. Is that, it's a run-of-the-mill game, but I mean, a conference win is still a big deal, especially where you want to be in this conference.
Yeah, you definitely have to take care of business on conference games, obviously, and that one was our first home game, and it seemed like almost a month. I think January 4th was our prior one, with the snow day that we're making up today. But so it's been a while to be able to play at home, and they gave us fits up there. Very close first half, very physical game. And I thought our defense took another step with them, made things hard for them to score. And then offensively, we took what they gave us and I had a lot of guys scoring in different spots, which is good to see.
Another big game tonight, another conference game. The Marshfield Tigers coming to town. This is a snow makeup game from a couple weeks ago, and we'll talk to Coach about that coming up next.
An SCS apartment or home is where you want to live, work, and play all throughout central Wisconsin. Look to SC Swiderski to make you feel right at home. The Stevens Point Brewery is a proud sponsor of local high school athletics. Experience the many refreshing flavors of Point Gourmet sodas. Handcrafted in small batches, each flavor is perfected for your enjoyment. From tasty black cherry cream to the world-famous Point Root beer, every bottle is in the house. Point Heating and Cooling in Stevens Point and Plover, with more than 100 years of making your home and business comfortable. Call Point Heating and Cooling or visit pointheating.com. Turn your house into a home and shop home furniture. Home Furniture on Post Road in Plover. When it comes to customized apparel or your local sports team apparel, turn to Maida in Stevens Point. From corporate outings to outfitting your club or sports team, Maida has all you could need.
All right, Coach, as we join Jon Krull, Stevens Point Panthers basketball coach, game that was anticipated a couple of weeks ago. People got to continue to get a little bit ramped up about it. I'm talking about those outside of the team, those in the community and around the area. It is a big game, though, especially with the conference loss that you had a couple weeks ago. If conference championship is still on the list this year, which I'm sure it is, this is almost a must-win game as far as conference championship is concerned tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we're approaching it as another conference game, but against an outstanding opponent. I mean, Marshfield has they're the defending champ, and they are and will be until somebody knocks them off. And right now, they're sitting alone on that top spot, and it's a game for us to get even with them, right? To share the top of the conference standings with 5 or 6 games left to go in the season, and it puts us in a good spot. If we're able to get a win and tie them up for the conference, we got another shot with them later. But you you don't want to fall too behind a team like Marshfield. They're just consistent. They play great defense. Offensively, they have some outstanding guys that can score in multiple spots. So they're a tough team to beat. We're going to have to earn, all 36 tonight, maybe more. I know usually when we play them, it's an exciting game. It comes down to the wire. Some overtime games we've had in the last few years. They're just complete. And I know we've talked about it kind of the previous time when we were going to play them. They're very similar to us, and they're a tough guard because it's almost you're playing yourself, right? They run a great motion. Their defense is outstanding. You really got to work for it, and you're not going to get any easy buckets. And we feel we're kind of similar and the same in that aspect. And it's going to be entertaining. These are fun games to play in. And when you have this type of potential of being down 2 games or tied with them in the conference, and it adds a little bit more value to the game. But again, everybody in the conference is chasing them until somebody's able to knock them off.
Coach, let's talk about Marshfield's height. You'll be undersized just a bit every now and then, depending on the bench rotation. Marshfield actually have 2 bigs on the floor. They can both play inside and outside. What are some considerations, for your team tonight when you might be a little bit outsized?
Yeah, we're going to have to, position well against them. Try to get them off their spots. If those 2 guys are in, and Hinson for that matter, if they get to their spots in the post, we don't have a lot of chance in there. So we're going to have to try to get them off their spot a little bit, crowd them, and make them have to score in other areas right now. We're going to have to battle. Obviously, it's going to be a physical game, and with being undersized, we got to kind of use our quickness. I think we may have in some spots a little bit quicker that we're going to have to use and take advantage of that, and really try to push them away from the hoop.
Talk about some early goals in tonight's game, especially offensively for you. When your guys have the ball, what are some things you want to see out of them early in this game?
Yeah, I like to see us move the ball, really see what, who's matching up on who. I feel at times, we have a lot of guys that can score in different spots, and we got to see what they're trying to take away. Not try to force stuff, kind of get a little flow early in that game and try to hunt some great open shots. And when the time's right to drive, when the time's right there for a shot, have confidence and knock it down or get in that lane and make a play for a teammate.
And then defensively against Marshfield, you may have to defend for long periods of time when they have the ball. What are some of the tips and tricks you shared with your guys on keeping your head in it defensively every time down the floor?
Yeah, they're really efficient on their offensive end, and they take their time, and we just got to outlast them, right? We have to not wear down on that defensive end, and we need to be aware that we potentially will be guarding for long periods of time. If we're trying to force them into contested shots and making them earn everything, we may run into some 30, 45-second possessions, and we got to make sure mentally we are prepared to continue to be in our spots, have that intensity, and not wear down or have a breakdown, because if you do, they just take advantage of it right away.
And then lastly, Coach, as we prepare for tonight's game against Marshfield, you mentioned a lot of these games have been very close, coming down to the wire, and that means free throw shooting. Tell us about how comfortable are you with your guys' ability to knock down those free throws late in the game?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been a little up and down throughout the season in that area. I like what we did on Friday against West. We were 17 of 19 from the free throw line. I think it's just a confidence thing. We've been shooting them and shooting a little bit more. We just have to go up there with the confidence that we're going to knock these things down. And it's great that we're getting there, but now we have to continue to take advantage of it and knock these things down when we're able to get there.
It's a special doubleheader tonight in Stevens Point. The girls tip at 6 o'clock against the Marshfield Tigers. Both of those teams undefeated. And then the boys hit the floor about 15 minutes after the conclusion to that one. Coach, best of luck tonight against Marshfield.
Thank you. We'll see you there.
Ag Country Farm Credit Services is a farmer-owned co-op offering a wide array of custom financing and financial services. Contact Ag Country in Stevens Point, 715-344-1000. Andy Hoff and Cindy LaChapelle of Hoff Favor Real Estate Group are your local Stevens Point realtors. That's Andy Hoff and Cindy LaChapelle of Hoff Favor Real Estate. Nickel Lay Bank offers personal banking at its best. Nickel Lay Bank of Stevens Point, 715-254-3400 and nickellaybank.com. For your next catering, birthday party, family night out, or just lunch on the move, make it a delicious, cheesy, Chicago-style deep dish slice from the one and the only Rocky Rococo's in Stevens Point.